Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Oh. I have a copy of my resume here. Like that. There's only one of these, so this will be the other two.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you. Oh, this is beautiful. Please forgive me, I'm a little under the weather, so if I'm coughing and stuff, that's why.
Oh, it's alright. You gotta fight through these things.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's see here. Well, let's just start with the basics. Tell me a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your work experience.
Yeah. I am about to graduate with an intercultural studies degree and a concentration in community development. And I was just really led to study that because I do have a heart for working with particularly people from other cultures. I love to learn about other cultures and work with people, and whether it's overseas or in America, I have experience with both. My first exposure to working with international people was actually in America. I worked for a program where Chinese high schoolers would come over for an English class, like an immersion for 3 weeks, and I was an assistant teacher, so my duties included actually recruiting volunteers and coordinating their schedules, and then also assisting the teacher with whatever they needed help with. And I also was in charge of coordinating field trips for the students, and then also staying in communication with host families. And that was an awesome experience. I really enjoyed that. And then also overseas, getting a little bit of experience with some different internships in some different countries.
Tell me a little bit more about your overseas experience.
My first experience was in the country of Gabon, Africa. And I went there the last semester of my senior year of high school, and I spent 4 months just kind of living with some missionaries, and I went almost every day and worked in a clinic that was run by Gabonese nurses, and just spent time with them, learned some French, kind of got a feel for what they did. They also did mobile clinics, so I would travel with them sometimes to some of the villages. And
Do you speak any other languages?
I speak a little French. I understand more than I can say, but semi-conversational, let's say.
So you went to Africa. Anywhere else?
This last summer, I was in Cambodia for 2.5 months. I worked on a research project. Yeah, it was different. And we researched about women who work in massage parlors in Phnom Penh, and just about their lives, and gathered their stories. And we were assessing for different risks that they might face in terms of physical abuse or violence, sexual violence, things like that. And we wrote it all up in a report. And yeah, so a bunch of different.
Let me ask you a couple questions about your experiences there. How do you show your sensitivity to a different culture?
I think my personal approach has often been to ask a lot of questions at the beginning that I deem somewhat necessary, just not overboard, but asking about, oh, what's that, or why do you do this, or things like that. Depending on the age group of the people that I'm working with, if they're my age, we find a lot more things that we can talk about in common, whereas if they're older, I know that I have to show them more respect because that's probably their cultural values, to respect the elderly. And
how do you bridge that language gap?
Yeah, I would say, excuse me, especially in Africa, I mean, that was probably where I experienced most of that language gap. Was just, I often found that when I tried to communicate, even if I didn't really know the language, just through laughing when it seemed like the appropriate time to laugh, or just facial expression, just showing that I was engaged, even if I didn't understand, they knew I didn't understand, just showing that I was interested and not bored, or things like that.
Can you give me an example of coming to a situation where it wasn't what you expected and you had to adapt to the new situation?
Yeah. I would say that probably in Cambodia, one of the biggest sort of challenges that we faced with that was I worked on a team with some other Western women from Europe or America. And we also worked with, for every Western woman that was on the team, there was a Cambodian translator, female. And we really had to navigate the different cultural values of time, efficiency, and relationship building. And those are things that I've learned about, but I hadn't experienced. That was the first time that I actually saw people's feelings hurt and frustrations and realized this was a reality of having to balance.
What do you think your greatest skills are?
I would say...
If you have a weakness.
Skills and weakness. Balance there. For skills, I think that I'm very good at an organizational element. I don't like to leave stones unturned. I'm very good at communicating when I'm working in a team setting, just making sure that everyone's on the same page, knows what their roles are. Whether I'm in a following position or leadership position, I like to make sure that there is a support to whoever needs support. And on the opposite side of weakness, I would say that I've seen from the past in different jobs that I have a tendency to want things to be done well, and that can often lead to me taking on more than I need to and not delegating as much as I should, or asking for help when I need help and things like that. And so not necessarily being too good at balancing, sometimes knowing when you need to invest in relationships and invest in other people growing, but wanting to do everything myself because I want it to be done according to my standards, whether those are good or not. But
right. What do you know about Moline?
Moline? Not a whole lot. Midwest. I mean, I've been to Illinois before, Illinois and Missouri area, and I have family in St. Louis, so.
Not too far away.
Yeah.
Right. We're time. Do you have any questions for me?
I did have one question in terms of the donors. It said in the job description that we were supposed to help with finding donors for the organization. Are the donors primarily from churches around the area, or does World really reach out to even non-Christian groups or individuals?
Yeah, World Relief has a pretty wide net for donors, and so it's not primarily local.
Okay.
Moline it used to be where John Deere tractor started, and it's changed because John Deere's still there, but the river was the main thing for the town when it started, and now it's had to adapt over the years for different things. It's become kind of a nice suburban little town in the middle of nowhere, and it's a nice place for resettling refugees.
Yeah.
But it's not the primary place we would get our funds, or that would be national.
Gotcha.
Even international.
Okay.
And oftentimes we work out grants and stuff.
Okay, yeah, I saw that also.
All right.
Well, thank you very much for your
Good to meet you,
time.
Olivia.
Yeah, you as well. Enjoy the rest of the interviews. Take care.
Did you turn it off?